In today's lesson, we'll be learning the song Merrily We Roll Along to practice our intervallic reading at C position. Let's get started. First, take a second to place your hands in the proper position. Like the last few songs we've done, our right hand thumb will start on middle C and our left hand finger number 5 will start on low C. Parents, make sure you're situated correctly with the right notes, and when you're all ready, let's take a look at these first two measures. We're going to start with our right hand finger number 3 and go down in steps to middle C. Then we're going to go back up in steps to our finger number 3 again and play that note 3 times. Take a second to go over this right hand section first. Parents, remember you want them to keep their left hand prepared to play while they practice this right hand part. When you're ready, let's take a look at our left hand section in the next measure. We'll be playing our finger numbers 1 and 5 at the same time, and we'll play those notes 3 times. Take a second to practice playing this left hand part now. Once you've gone over each hand section a few times, let's try and play these hands together. I've highlighted the parts where our hands will be playing together at the same time, and parents, I'll be playing each note for 1 beat and holding out those last notes for 2, so as written. I'll give us a countdown. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job! If this was a little tricky, feel free to practice this section again. Let's move on to the next two measures. From where we left off, our right hand will step down to finger number 2 and play that note 3 times. Our left hand will be playing finger numbers 1 and 2 together for 3 times as well. Take a second to practice each part hands alone first, and when you're ready, let's take a look at the next measure. If you notice, we have the same pattern here that we did in the second measure earlier. Right hand's finger number 3 plays 3 times, and our left hand fingers numbers 1 and 5 play at the same time too. Again, take a moment to review this and practice both measures hands separately, then hands together slowly. Parents, we want to make sure that the transitions between our notes are smooth, so they don't sound too choppy. Practicing this section hands separately first will allow us to familiarize ourselves with the note transitions. That way we are more prepared when we do hands together. When we're ready, let's try playing these two measures. And parents, I'll be playing them as written so you know what that looks and sounds like. I'll give us a countdown. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing job! Feel free to go back and practice this section again if it was a little tricky. When you're ready, let's move on to the next line of our music. If you look closely at these two measures, we are playing the exact same thing that we played in the very first two measures. Take a second to review the section if you need to before we play it, and remember to keep your hands steady and play hands separate first if you need more practice. When you're ready, let's play this together. I'll give us a countdown. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounding great. Now let's look at these last two measures to the end. From where we left off, we step down to our right hand finger number 2 and we play that note twice. Then we step up to our finger number 3 and back down to 2. And finally, we step down to our finger number 1 on middle C in the last measure. Take a moment to practice this right hand part first, and when you're familiar with it, we'll take a look at our left hand. In the last measure, we play our left hand finger numbers 1 and 3, and then we end on our finger number 5 on low C. Again, take a moment to practice this first and slowly start to piece these two parts together. Parents, keep an eye out and make sure that when they are playing hands together, they play slowly and hit the notes at the same time, rather than staggered. We want our notes to sound as clear as possible. When we're all ready, let's play this together. And parents, I'll be playing this as written so you know what it looks and sounds like. I'll give us a countdown. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Nice job. If you'd like to go back and review this last section, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we've finished our song. Parents, to help your child practice Merrily We Roll Along this week, I recommend reviewing the C position. By now, we should be more familiar with getting our hands into this position, so remember to keep our hands steady and strong. Practice hands separately first, and then hands together, and like always, take your time when piecing together the different sections. As a bonus, feel free to use the lyrics as an anchor in your practice this week, since I'm sure a few of you may be familiar with the song already. Happy practicing!